Hello, FrostyFire10 here with a quick Long Fallen Dynasty review for PS5, and I think I want to preface a few things. I was a big fan of Niwa too, so again, and Niwa, so huge, you have the movement from there, and it's sort of slightly jarring, but at the same time, I think the game's really good. I think Long Fallen Dynasty is a really good game. I think it's just one of the things that kind of annoys me when people talk about the game or saying, where it's at and all this sort of stuff like that. It's improved a lot with the updates, the quality of life updates, massive improvements. But the same with Niwa and Niwa 2, you need to wait till all the DLC's out to get your full judgment. So again, this is with that in mind. I'm telling you that I think the game will be much better once all the DLC is out, because one of the things the DLC adds, enemy variation, adds more enemies, and then that's one of the criticisms of the game, not enough enemy variation, and it's like, well, they're going to fix that. That's how they design the games. And then we've got, not enough, well, you need more new games, you need, Way of the Niwa, Way of the Wulong. You need the final difficulties, and you need higher leveling. So at the minute, the level cap's 150, and that's just too low. So it's a pain in the ass. So it's like, why do that? And then it's going to go up to like 700. I mean, Niwa 2 went to 750. So it's going to go up massively with the release of the DLCs, which aren't that far away. The first one aren't that far away. And so once all the DLCs are out, and you look at the game from that point of view, you'll have much more powerful items, new rarity of items as each DLC comes out, which is just the nature of the game. And they'll be much more distinct visually, hopefully. Well, they will be. And much more powerful. So it's one of those things where it's like, the full picture of the game isn't available yet. So I think the criticisms of the game are a bit, I mean, it's you criticize every new game, that's just how it is. But at the same time, I think it's a bit unfounded. Looking at the track history of Team Ninja, if I was, completely separating it from the legacy of the other previous titles, then yeah, it'd be slightly more critical. But with the knowledge that what's going to come and how it's going to change, it's obvious to me the game will get better. And that maybe it's better to buy the game once it's got all its DLCs, and it'll be cheaper. Maybe get the full thing as a collection. That'll be better. That'll probably be a better experience than just buying the base game and then just waiting for the DLCs to come out. So I had the same issue with Niwa 2. I really enjoyed the game, and then it took a while for the DLCs to come out, and then so I took a break, played other games, and then I came back when all of them were out and the level caps were all the way up, and you didn't have the attribute caps at 99, they were at 200, and you could just it was just markedly better once all the DLCs were out. And then the DLCs themselves were really good, but it was just a much better leveling playthrough experience. Although it must be said, the final difficulty, you get significantly more experience in it in Niwa 2, and it's disproportionately amount of experience. So you kind of level up like 150 levels in like the first couple missions of Way of the Niwa. So it was kind of, will you have the same experience here? I'm not sure. Probably. They like to have this massive gap, and just that's where a lot of the difficulty will be with New Game Plus. For people, is that I can't get higher than level 150. So, and it's kind of like, well, the difficulty's only there because of the cap, and once the cap's raised, the game is completely different. And it just would make a lot more sense to wait until you get that full picture, again, before giving any real definitive this game is good or bad, which is just the reality of it. So I think, having said that, you still have to say whether you think it's good or not, and I think it's a good game. Now, I hope the DLC environments are a little bit more dynamic. Again, that's just the nature of some of these environments at times, but I do feel, the environments themselves could be a little bit more, I don't know, I just don't feel like you interact with them a lot in meaningful ways, or like there's meaningful destruction. And that may be something that comes with, the next game made by the main team, but we'll see. Probably not. But yeah, it'll be interesting today. Of course, everyone, my gut instinct, when Elden Ring came out was will Team Ninja look at that, and then that's maybe what they're going to do with the other game coming out. But I hope that they look at that, you know, and they go, oh, can we make an open world version of Nioh 3? And it was kind of like, that's where my gut instinct was like, maybe. But then the way that the Wulong does its menus and you're teleporting to maps and you having to be in the hub all the time, I think is not good. I think I definitely prefer the map system, the hut system in Nioh 2, where you can just do your upgrades and things, and it's not such a big, you know, so many loading screens. I feel like there's too many loading screens, unnecessary loading screen, to be perfectly honest. You can just have the blacksmith on the menu and all that sort of stuff. I mean, they wanted to make more immersion. I can understand after you had with the, you know, the DLCs, you had the afterlife sort of zone in Nioh, where, you know, all the famous historical figures, you could go and talk to them after, and you do little missions for them and things. I think they like that, and that's kind of where this has been born from, and they wanted to make a nice looking environment and stuff like that. But it's, I think, unnecessary for the most part, and you could have it, just to have it as an area, optional area to go to, not a mandatory, this is where you got to keep going back to. It's kind of one of those things. Itemization stuff, rarity drops have increased and all those things, but I don't like the look of the items, so let's just jump in. I'll just jump in. Yes, you can wear the underpants. But yeah, I don't like this, because in Nioh 2 you go straight to your, you do load for a bit, and then you go to your greater map, and then it's, I think, a much quicker transition. Even on PS5 here, it still takes a little while to load, which can make people frustrated, you know? What's the point? Camera stuff, same issues in all, you know, Team Ninja games, to be perfectly honest. But it's all, you know, manageable. But combat's good. Verticality, being able to actually jump, I think is great. And then, you know, all your magical abilities, all that sort of stuff. The magic attribute system, I'm not going to go through it all because there's no point drowning you in systems. It's not as complex as Nioh, I think that's fair to say. But I would like to be able to trade the I would like to be able to trade the skills on weapons between weapons. That's something I know they'll add with, I'm sure they'll add that with the DLC, because it kind of annoys me that you it just feels like you're held back a little bit. So that's this one. There we go. And I was going to go that one. Yeah, it looks cool, that. Looks cool. And then we got the ranged and all that sort of stuff. The ranged wasn't as good because you had to keep buying the arrows. They fixed that. Whatever. And the... See, look, I'm only 140. I can't even bother. Going to 150. Not doing it. My most enjoyable part of the game, though, which if you don't talk about, I think, in a review, is a bit unfair. So... it's co-op. I really like recruiting, responding. Responding in co-op is great. So I love responding to people's calls for help, battling Lu Bu for the 50th time. And just, I like how, you know, if you change the setting, you can see. You can do random, and you can also do just picking, which is great. I like the option. And I like to pick, you know, whatever mission, and then just go in there and help out. I think that's fantastic. Invasions, not so much, but at least you can choose. Again, invasions are interesting. It's good to have the option, though. I think that's the most important thing. Your NPCs for reinforcements, they're okay. Nothing too crazy, though. And then, of course, your Divine Beast. I don't think the Divine Beast is that good. I mean, this one I've got on is really... power drop on enemy upon yeah. Yeah, it's okay. It's nothing too special. All the wizardry spell stuff is good. I haven't experimented enough with everything. Mostly just did water because I started with the fire build and then hit Lubu and then went water and then just absolutely flew through the game. Water is crazy. Crazy, man, crazy. And then we got the map thing. So they have added little symbols so you can see if you collected everything in the map, which I'm probably going to go back and do. But that said, that's just, at the minute, I'm just waiting, thinking, well, I'm probably going to play something else until the DLCs start coming out. And then the level cap goes up and I start feeling like I'm being hindered by the game's design in progression, because I don't want to even hit that barrier yet. I just don't even want to get near it. And then we got the blacksmith and all that sort of stuff, the tempering and all the complex things. Not going to go with that too much. But I think just the nature of the items I don't like. So even, you know, a 5-star here, it doesn't look dramatically different. So I think the border colors need to be changed. So they need to look at what Niowa did and go, well, you need to have, since it's, you know, green for 5-star, have a green background. Instead of a dark, just a black background for the weapon, it needs a green background. The whole thing needs to be colored in green. Kind of like how your crypto item has got that green sort of thing there. You need to have a color. There needs to be a color there associated with, say, the purple. Then the whole thing needs to be purple, and then the white. The whole thing needs to be white. You know, that's such a basic thing from Niowa. They need to put it in, because I think it would dramatically help with the visual side of things. Because I do feel like that's where, you know, UI is weak. It's just the natural. I think just the colors. The colors. Having the transparent thing, you don't need to do that, or you can have the option of opacity, but it's just not distinct enough between the different items, and I feel like that kind of blurs all of them together and makes them a bit overwhelming. So you got a whole bunch of stuff here, and you just like, and not having soul matching from Niowa 2 sort of reduces a lot of the complexity as well. So it's really just hoarding the proper tempered attributes you want and then putting them on the weapons you want. But it's, I mean, we'll have a system. I know a DLC system will come out for the accessories, and then you'll be able to. I wish you could just temper the accessories and just save all the RNG, because that RNG from Niowa 2 is such a pain in the ass. Waiting for the perfect little thing to drop, and then just I don't agree with it. Honestly, I think you can take that out. But you know what reason you had to play the game? Then you add a challenge, you add a system. There's one mission that's kind of like a boss rush. There could be more. They will add more, of course, with the DLCs, boss rush style things, and, you know, tougher challenges and stuff like that. But I don't know. I feel like there's a bit of pressure on Wulong, and there has been a bit of pressure since release, because it's just like the franchise, the Niowa 2, the Niowa franchise. Team Ninja's esteem in the community is sort of building, even though they had the Final Fantasy thing, which had its issues. I feel like the attention on every single new game now in the modern world is sort of getting a bit more out of hand at times, and the pressure on them, people come in with bloated expectations or unrealistic expectations, and they get disappointed, and it's easy to see why. And it's kind of like, oh, that's where your expectations were? Okay. And it's a little bit sad, so I wanted to touch on it a bit. Low expectations, I think, are really important in every game you play, and then that way you're never really disappointed, unless it's like totally broken, which again, the old games used to be totally broken. People seem to forget how many old games were so badly broken, and how much trouble we had, you know, old PC stuff, and oh my goodness, gaming's gotten so much better. People just look past the most obvious things, which is fine. I mean, expectations being increased is understandable. It's just as a game developer, they got to manage expectations, and that's the hardest part, because marketing just wants to build everything and, you know, make everything seem amazing, and they don't really realize that they're doing a disservice to the game. But that said, I think the game looks good. I feel like the environments early on are a bit pale. They have nerfed the starter boss, so if you were hesitant to start try the game out, they did make it easier. The first phase. And then you can do the gimmick in the second phase, which I didn't even realize at the time, which is just crazy. Character customization is really good. Pretty damn good. Characters are somewhat memorable. Lots of them you've seen before, so they could do a lot more with them. Again, DLC, they can do a huge amount more. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I reckon that'll do. That'll do. All right. It's been FrostyFire10. Game is good. Will get much better with all the DLCs come out, so you can wait for that, to be honest. So yeah, you're getting an incomplete picture if you're playing the game now. You're not getting it at its full glory. So it's kind of like, ugh. So yeah, I'm not telling you not to criticize the game, but at the same time, just know it'll get a lot better. Way better. I mean, Naira 2 now is way better than it was at the start. But yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Oh, here we go. There we go. Alright. See ya.